Hello everyone, I say pause hello. So this is Twig and I'm a dad, Twiggy daddy. Yeah, good girl, good girl. Owning a few different breeds of dogs. Okay, you all done? You all done? Good girl. Come on, you can get out of here. Come on. Good girl. Go for a nap. If you stay there. Sorry about that, I thought I'd get Twig to help me introduce today's video, but I think she had other plans in mind. All good. So yeah, like I said, we got Twiggy when she was around 8 weeks old. Got her roughly 3 years ago, and at the time it was a bit of a chat between my partner and I, and we both came to the conclusion that we were ready for that next step in growing our little family. Since then we haven't looked back. So a couple of quick reasons why we chose Twig is that I have always had dogs in my life since I was a young kid, and I've had a few different breeds, but I've really fallen in love with the breed of the Border Collie. A couple of key things are for their intelligence and their playfulness and their loyalty. And when we started looking and came across Twig, I immediately fell in love with her as soon as I saw her. Since then, Twig has changed and shaped our lives. She definitely has us wrapped around a paw, expecting breakfast at 6 a.m, dinner by 6 p.m, walkies and playtime in between her nap time, and cuddles at night before she goes to bed. But honestly, I couldn't imagine life without Twig by my side. So in order to help other doggy daddy and mummies out there, I thought I would talk about 3 most important things that I learnt becoming a Twiggy daddy. So number 1, keeping her mentally and physically safe and healthy. Before we got Twig, I knew that what she was exposed to or experiences that Twig would have in her early life would shape what type of adult doggy she'd become. So I knew that I had to equip myself in the best way I could, and this is through research, and more research. So I understand that there's a lot of content out there, and doing research, you can, or I myself became quickly overwhelmed. So I thought I'd just break down this part into, or the research category rather, into a couple of key things. One of those things was her diet. So to kick off your research, I thought where to start is with what not to feed your puppy. For example, one of those things is chocolate, which is a big no-no. If you would like to hear more around diet or what we feed Twig, please let me know in the comments below. So another part of my research was looking at requirements that vets had, and I can only speak to what we have in Australia. For example, one of those things is vaccinations, and vaccinations I know had to come at certain times during Twig's development as a puppy. A big one for us in Australia is around parvo, so I wasn't able to take Twig into any outside public areas where other dogs had been until she was vaccinated and the vet said it's okay to take her out. Another one was that I researched Twig's breed. So Twig's breed, being a Border Collie, has general things that come with that breed. One of those things was knowing Twig was a highly energetic breed. We had to cater her diet for that, ensuring that she would have enough calories to ensure her proper development and she wouldn't be undernourished. That compared to other more inactive or smaller breeds, they are susceptible to becoming overweight if you feed them the same diet that you would feed Twig. Another one is potential health problems that specific breeds come across. I found out that dogs with lighter color eyes are more prone to eye problems or blind. Knowing these things helps me to look out for certain things Twig might be showing that could indicate a health problem and it's time to go to the vet. Another example is knowing Twig's breed was intelligent, I knew that I had to keep her mentally stimulated. Day one, we started training her, and knowing border collies were really focused, we used a ball, and straight away Twig showed interest in that ball. So fetch was one that I used to help keeping her mentally active, and also helped her being physically active. Was just one of the things that I knew we could do with her from this research and knowing Twig's breed. So I just want to add here to the research that you might be doing about understanding your dog's breed and specific traits, or rather general traits that come from the dog's breed. I say general because I truly believe that each dog has their own personality, and this is something that you need to figure out along the way as you're building up your relationship with your dog. This is something that I'm really interested in, and I have picked up on a lot of Twig's personality traits through her own cues along the way. Let me know in the comments below if this is something that you might find interesting to help you out with your relationship with your own dog. So another element, I think, to keeping Twig safe, happy and healthy was training her. Specific things in her training, say for instance for her health, was getting her used to certain checks the vet might do. So touching her mouth, touching her gums, touching her paws, like in between her paws, doing all those actions that might resemble what the vet might do, and associating positive experiences to that would help her feel less intimidated when she was to go to the vet. Another one is teaching her how to sit. My thinking was that when I was out walking her, I'd get her to sit at every junction in the road, or every time we're about to cross the road, just to make sure that she would pause before heading out onto the road. So I made sure that every time I would say sit, she would do it, and we practiced that all the time outside. This would really matter when there were other distractions about, that she would still listen to my voice in saying sit. That's just another example of her training that would bring in those elements of safety, being outside. Another bit of training that we really focused on was recall. Before I let Twig off the lead, I would make sure that her recall was 100%, and we built in various distractions, different levels, always in a safe and controlled environment where we practiced her recall. This was a big one for her own safety. I needed to make sure she would come to me as soon as she heard my voice, no matter what. Twig being super playful, she also gets distracted very easily and isn't always aware of her surroundings. So a few times there may have been other dogs about that I've seen that she hasn't picked up on, that I've made sure she's had to come back at me, and then we can figure out together if the other dog is okay to play with. Another big thing I'd like to mention here with her recall is that if we are out in public, say it's an off-leash area within a park, and other people come, I'm aware that not everyone is comfortable with other dogs. Some people may have had bad experiences in the dog, one of the worst being they were attacked by another dog, and their natural reaction to dogs is to be fearful. So I wanted to show them that I had Twig in control, so I'd always bring Twig to me and find out if the other person is okay in having Twig near them. So number two, I knew it was really important Twig had a social life. So I knew building Twig's social life was really important, ensuring that she had the best first experiences and exposures as possible. And I believe that this would help her become a well-rounded citizen later in life. So for instance, getting her socialized with other puppies. We did this as soon as we could take her outside. Taking her to puppy school was a really big one. Here she was exposed to other puppies her own age in a really nice controlled setting. So I was quite sure that her first experience of meeting other dogs that weren't her brothers and sisters would be a good one. Versus, say for instance, if I did take her to a doggy park, I wouldn't really know the other age of the dogs and how the older dogs might interact with her. And I completely understand that at doggy parks, dogs are roaming a bit more free and the owners may not have as much control as they should have with their dogs. So I was just a bit hesitant to take her to doggy park, especially with her first experiences. So another key thing for me socializing Twig was to introduce her to new people. I was lucky enough at the time to be working at a community nursery and be able to bring Twig to work with me. So here she was able to meet toddlers, teenagers, younger people, people my own age and older people as well. And she was also super lucky to have her friend Rollo there at the time, and they got on super well. I think at times poor Rollo had to deal with Twig's young energy, if you like to say. She was very persistent in playing with him, but Rollo took it like a champion. So number 3 is me coming to the realization that Twig just wants to spend time with me. I think that dogs' main aim in life is to spend time with you and as much as they can. So it was really important to me that I would do what's in my power to provide her with this experience. It wasn't at all a chore for me. It wasn't anything that came unnatural to me because it was something that I loved doing and I really wanted to. For me, it was such a simple thing in life, her wanting to spend time with me, that could give me, or it has brought me great joy. And I don't think I'm alone in saying that spending time with dogs brings people great joy. Spending time with your dog doesn't have to be a chore either. It can be a lot of fun. I love training dogs, it's part of my passion, so this was a lot of time spent with Twig was in training her, and she was picking it up and she was having fun. So the more fun she had, the more I did it. So it was a great outcome for both of us. And during this time, I was figuring out her personality quirks, Twig was figuring out mine, and we're building a relationship together that, ultimately has built a really great, I think, bond of trust between us. So I think I was really focusing on ways that we could spend a lot of time together that brought both of us a lot of fun, and it was something that we both enjoyed doing. Another great thing that Twig and I like doing together, or maybe more so me, but that's going to the pub. We're pretty lucky here in Tassie to have a few places that are open to having dogs. While we're at the pub, Twig loves to say hello to everyone, and I really think that a lot of people love to say hello to Twig, so it's a bit of a win-win there. She also loves being the center of attention, and she gets that happening to her more often than not at the pub. I do get to have Twig with me at work. We both have put a lot of effort and time into her training, so she's able to do this. This was with the intention to maximize the time I could spend with Twig. So I understand that everyone has different time constraints. However, I think if you focus on having the time that you can spend with your dog in having fun, doing things that you both enjoy, this really provides that quality of time that you guys do get to have together. I think that having fun together really helps you prioritize that time you do get to spend with your dog. And I think that helps you see it not as a chore or something that you have to do, rather it's something that you want to do. And I think spending more time with your dog than not really builds that relationship, and a huge thing that comes from that is trust. And as soon as you start to trust each other, you can do a whole lot more things together. So thanks for watching. I'd get Twig to say goodbye, but I've put her to sleep again. She's taking a nap in the back. I don't know if you can fully see her. But please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear from you. And please hit that like or subscribe button, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.